Hi, boys and girls. I hope you're going to enjoy the book that I'm going to read you today. My name is Carolyn Ahlstrand, and I live in Cushing, down on Pleasant Point Road. I'm sure you all know where that is. It's the longest road in Cushing, except for River Road. I live down on the water, close to the end of Pleasant Point Road. I used to live in California for about 15 years ago. I came here to Maine and totally fell in love with Cushing. I think it's a beautiful town. I love the people. I love the houses. I love everything about our town. I think it's beautiful. We're all so fortunate to live here and be so close to the water and to have such friendly, warm neighbors. Anyway, that's a little bit about me. Today we're going to read Beware of the Crocodiles. It's a very exciting book. See if I can get it down there a little bit more in the frame. I've read this book several times now because I couldn't get my computer to work right. So I think I almost know this book by heart. But I'm going to go ahead and read it anyway so that I don't forget any parts of it. So the first page we have a picture of a big crocodile. You can see that big crocodile. If there's one thing you should know about crocodiles, it's that they're really scary, or at least the big ones are. They've got an awful lot of teeth. Look at those teeth. And they're not at all picky about what they eat, as long as it's got a bit of meat on it. Here's a wildebeest roaming down to the water. These are big, big animals that live in Africa. When it comes to hunting down that dinner, they're very determined and very cunning. They know all the places along the sides of the rivers and lakes where animals come down to drink. When it's time for a meal, a hungry crocodile will choose one of those places and hide there in the water, just under the surface, with only the top of its head sticking out. Pretty sneaky. Sooner or later, something passing by with a bit of meat on it will decide that it's thirsty and needs a drink. And then, what do you think happens? Splash! There'll be a sudden lunge, and then, oh dear, what happens next is rather gruesome. In fact, it's so gruesome that we should skip the details. Let's just say that there's a lot of twirling and thrashing, and then things go a bit quiet. Afterward, the crocodile won't need to feed for a while. Instead, it spends its time cruising around, checking out places where it might find its next meal, or snoozing on a sandbank. And you can see, here's a big sandbank. He's got a bird sitting on his back, and he's got his eyes closed, and he's just had himself a big snack, and he's going to sleep for a while and digest it, kind of like we do after Thanksgiving. Now, one thing you should know is that crocodiles can go for weeks and weeks without eating. The bigger the crocodile's meal, the longer it can go before the next one. But there's more to crocodiles than splash, snap, twirl, and swallow. You might be surprised to hear that they make very good parents. How would you like to have a crocodile for a parent? Or mothers, we should say. We'll talk about their fathers a little later. When she's ready to lay some eggs, a mother crocodile gathers up a huge mound of fallen leaves. Here's a pile of leaves. She scoops out a hollow in the top. See the hollow? She lays her eggs there and covers them with leaves. As the leaves rot, they heat up, keeping the eggs nice and warm. The mother can adjust the heat by piling up more leaves or scraping some away. Kind of like a heater with wood in it if you heat with wood. Inside the eggs, the baby crocodiles are slowly growing. When they're nearly ready to hatch, they start chirping away like tiny birds. That's the mother knows. That's her signal that those babies are about to be born and it's time to open that nest. Then very carefully, she picks up the newly hatched babies in her enormous jaws. And what do you think she does? She drops them in the water right away. As soon as they're born, bang, in the water they go. She still doesn't leave the babies on their own, though. She stands guard over them in the water for months. You can see here's the big mama crocodile and all these little babies swimming around everywhere. You see lots of things like to eat baby crocodiles. Birds like storks and heron, big fish, and what do you think, worst of all? Other crocodiles. Sometimes even the baby's crocodile's own fathers eat the babies. They don't really know the difference. Meat is meat. And there's the father crocodile eating up the babies. Despite the mother's best efforts, a lot of the babies meet an unfortunate end. But the ones that survive grow and grow and grow and grow until one day they're the ones lurking in the water by that place on the bank with only their eyes and nose sticking out, waiting for something or even somebody to come down and drink. There's that wildebeest again. So here I have a little bit about crocodiles. I'll read these facts to you. Crocodiles are reptiles, a group that also includes snakes and lizards and turtles. You probably knew that turtles and lizards are reptiles. There are 16 different kinds of crocodiles altogether, and they live in North America, Central America, South America, Africa, and the Caribbean. Well, I was in Africa a few years ago, and I was actually on a safari. We came down to the foot of a hill, and at the foot of the hill was a big lake. And at the edge of the lake, what did you see? You saw the top of a head and just two eyes looking up out of the water. All you saw was the eyes, and from about here up on the head, just looking and waiting. Their closest relatives are alligators and caimans. There are 2 kinds of alligators and 6 kinds of caimans. One species of alligator lives in China, where it's very rare. The other lives in North America. Caimans live in Central and South America. Both alligators and caimans look a lot like crocodiles. It can actually be pretty hard to tell between them. They're very closely related. The easiest way is to look at their teeth when their mouths are shut. You wouldn't want to get too close to do this inspection, though. If you can see teeth sticking up at the side of the mouth, it's a crocodile. If you can't, it's an alligator or a caiman. Now, there's another thing here I wanted to share with you about crocodiles. Let's see. Here it is. It normally takes 2 years for a baby crocodile to grow to 3 feet long. That's not very long, 3 feet for 2 years. And another 8 years for it to reach 6 feet long. So by the time it's been alive for 11 years, it's only gotten to be 6 feet long. And then when you think about how long they get, sometimes they get as long as 30 feet. I think I saw that in here somewhere. As long as 30 feet until they reach their full adulthood. It takes a long time. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed Beware the Crocodile. I sure have. I think it's a fun book. Look at all those teeth. Thank you. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.